Let's go. This is the underground. And we're back for another one. Underground World News Live. Good evening. Let's get the mic check out the way. Looks good on my restream. Yes, we are live across the world. Thank the Most High. Much love, Eon, Gabe, G. Thank you for the feedback. All the pure bloods. Pixie, E. Fitz, Deanne, Hitman, MC, Tooge, E-Face, Warlock, Steve, Minx, Raymond, Mayhem. All you guys. Hoodie Ross in the building. Hoodie's been working at this like radio station here recently. It's been pretty cool. Running songs and DJing and stuff. Yeah, keep that going. Hoodie Ross, Boomer, Bones, Meat Puppet, Regina. Man, I hope everybody's doing good. And thank you, Lakeville. Thank you, Meat Puppet. For life, baby. To the end. Pure bloods, baby. Yeah. Lots going on to break down, unpack. As always. Gonna start off here on the lighter end of the spectrum. And then work our way into the crazy. Down into the rabbit holes. Academy, God bless. Much love. Gabe, much love, man. Good to see everybody. Again, I hope everything's good. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. Make sure you're subscribed. and also open up the bell notification. Take a second to do that. Just go look and see where your settings are. You might be surprised to see that you have nothing checked off in the notifications. It might have changed over time for you. A lot of people have been telling me they've been not only unsubscribed, but notifications not coming through. A lot. Way, way more than normal. Even D White, one of our mods, was unsubbed. And like I said, it's just I see what's going on here. I want to thank all you guys again to fight the fight and to get it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. At me in the comments section there. Exclusive here tonight on YouTube. The last stream, I think I was on X as well. I may do that from here. I was just kind of testing some things out, trying to see what streamed good. We haven't had any major issues since I switched over to Restream. I think there was like one little hiccup. It's been better, just put it that way. So thankful for that. Chrissy from London, England, checking in. Much love to you. Daz, Crown Jewels, Lord McCormick, everybody over there. Much love, Gio. Start off here with a prayer. I want to ask the Most High in heaven to be with us here tonight and to bless those that call upon him. As we get this rolling here, Sin, thank you for buying the 2 coffees. That is the best way to support the channel. By far, appreciate it to the fullest. Last show, I believe it was last show, we were talking about, I was putting out a warning about the energy drinks. I got a lot of people that I know that drink energy drinks. And I did for years myself. Years ago. It's been years now. But I put out a warning on the taurine. The taurine is now linked to causing cancer in the blood. I think it's really important that people realize these things. It's a pretty big thing to find something that's that prominent in that many different drinks and saying that, yes, it leads to the growth of leukemia cells in the blood. I did a thing, I'd never touch it again. Anything especially has taurine on it. So yeah, if you're drinking an energy drink, that'd be one of the first things I do is I'd be going looking at the can, looking up. Some people are going to be pissed. They're going to see that it's in there. You're just going to have to make a choice here. Either you keep on consuming. This is why people later up have cancer and die left and right. It's because of things like this. Guy says he's drinking Dr. Pepper right now. Jeez. All I could do is laugh. I put out the warnings. That's all I can do. If people want to take their lives serious, and dodge potential cancer, you could literally do it if you just took the advice from tonight. Someone. And never touch it again. Especially that taurine. I'm not saying you can never have an energy drink or anything like that. It's the substance within it's been targeted, and you should eliminate that from your diet to the best of your ability. I would say I don't want to see my people sick and dying. Yes, Pixie, that's right. No. And I'm talking about what is specifically being put into the energy drinks. Anyway, if you want to keep on drinking energy drinks and soda out of these cans, that's on you. I had an epiphany and like an awakening to this whole thing. And I don't know, when I look at these cans, man, I kind of can't believe that it's happening. And that I spent, a good portion of my life drinking Pops, Pepsis, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, whatever it is, out of these cans, these aluminum cans. I just look at them like, man, this can't be safe. This can't be good. And without any evidence or anything, just looking at it, just the vibe, man. And that's what I run off of. If I get a bad one off of it, it's just like, man, all of it just looks poison. That's what I see. I see poison. Big time. Rain X, much love. Thank you for the coffee in the comment. Hope all is well. But USDA approves Nebraska banning all this stuff off their food stamps. So talk about cleaning some things up, doing this, doing that. I mean, I don't trust nothing. I mean, we don't have righteous people at the helm. It's all show, and we know this. And they're trying to do some good things in the midst of the show. So you kind of give them props along the way, because without that, they would have nothing. Not a leg to stand on. Some of the stuff, like RFK coming out, going after the food dyes, trying to clean up the food supply a little bit, this and that. Like, yeah, I get that, but he's crooked and a criminal. And if you don't get that, you've been living under a rock, and you're like just now showing up, hearing it. You got some homework to do. Anyway, the stuff cut from food stamps. I'm still waiting to see who's going to go to jail for the trillions that was spent. Sure, only not going to be Biden. He just got to pass. The whole thing with cancer and all this, we're going to tear into that here in a bit. Man, this world's a stage. Some people show up over in the comment section, like maybe on YouTube or X, commenting on something. Like, it just shows me their blindness. It just shows me their level of intelligence. A lot of times, because it just does. You'll tell them by their fruits, right? Well, I've got a graph here I want to share with you in terms of the beef in our cattle. It reveals that the industry has been hijacked by chemical pushers, and this is not what you want. This isn't. Oh, man. And thank you, G, for the coffee. God bless. It's just all bad, man. Everything falling apart, all by design. This has been one of them slow burns, the whole cattle thing. And it hasn't gotten any better. When you throw in a story like this, it's only going to make it worse. It lessens your choices. Like, say, we've got a very small supply out there. Now, what happens when a third of that is tainted because of the feed they give it, or another because they're injecting it with this or hormones or anything like that? And it leaves a very small bit of supply left. And I guarantee you it's not what you're seeing in the stores. People are thinking this when you're buying these steaks and all this other stuff. And thank you, Sweet Pea, for the coffees. Much love. I don't know, man. I've got to go and do a pickup here soon myself, on a cow that got butchered. Luckily, I have family that's in this field that we can trust, and it's just finding a person that you can trust in this field. Exactly that you can get your meat from, and store it. Buy a freezer, spend a couple $100, get a freezer, stock it full. It's going to save you in the long run. And it's just, I don't know. You know where it comes from at that point, right? They're out there if people care, but it's all about convenience for most people. Most people have adapted, whether they realize it or not, to the conveniences of all the stores and the fast pace of life. So Lakeville, much love. I don't trust any of the places out there, any of the big time conglomerates like McDonald's, your Wendy's, Burger Kings, all them. Anything similar to that, I don't trust what they're serving the people. Haven't for some time. Even getting into the other chains that some people like. Until we see some proof and some evidence, really some tests need to be done. And shout out to the folks that went out and did the recent testing on Chick-fil-A. If you guys missed it, I don't have a link pulled up here for it, but man, just Google it. Just look it up. Look up what was just found in Chick-fil-A. Man, it ain't good. they're testing the stuff they're finding. They're like, it shouldn't even be in there, like this and that. And I'm like, man, like horrific. And right after I saw that, I seen a thing out of Atlanta that showed this like very small, like itty bitty vehicle going down the road. A human can't fit in it. And it's like this autonomous vehicle almost delivering stuff in Atlanta. And it was for Chick-fil-A. So I haven't been down there in the neighborhoods or anything like that in a while. Maybe you guys are seeing this. They don't have anything like that down where I'm at, out here in the mountains. They would run out of juice before it even got to the top of my driveway. I don't know, man. I would start looking into, the cleaner food if you care. I say these things, man. I feel like I know some people would take the advice, but like others will just carry on with their habits and the way things are. It is springtime. Much love. Shout outs to everyone out there tending to their gardens, getting everything going. It's a task and a job in itself all the time, but worth it in the long run, especially when food's continuing to rise. It's one thing about out here where I'm at. I can say in Appalachian Mountains, Kentucky, country mountains, like everyone you pass has got a garden. Like everyone, everyone has got their own little garden going. Well, I'm not gonna say everyone, but like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, like almost everybody's got their own garden going to some extent, and got like chickens running around and goats and even turkeys, everything you think of. You'll see that left and right going down these old country roads, and people are prepared. That's the good thing about that, is those people are prepared. Like I've already seen it, like in crisis situations and all this other stuff. People are like, "Oh, I can't get out, can't get to the store, can't get supplies." Like, they'll get by with what they got. They're used to that. Some people were raised that way. Some people were raised off of the stores, and that's all they know. They've never grown anything. Hey, get out there and try it, man. Live life. What could hurt? We're gonna keep it pushing here. Let's talk about this zero-click attack. And it's exactly what it sounds like here. You don't have to click on anything to become susceptible. This is basically something that is going to hit every device out there. And this can come by someone just sending unsolicited emails, SMS messages, WhatsApp messages, all this stuff. But they used to target high profile people with what they call these zero-click attacks because it costs more money than normal phishing scams. So a zero-click attack is a cyber attack that hacks a device without the user even clicking on anything. It can happen just by receiving a message, a call, or a file. The attacker uses hidden flaws in apps or certain systems to take control of the device, and it's over. So, it's all about public awareness. And they're saying that now it seems like what used to be geared toward VIPs or very important people in government, high-ranking positions, things like that, it's now hitting everyone. You might get a message that it may look suspect to you. Well, what sucks about these types of attacks with certain devices is they can just send it to your phone and like it's there. If they've got your number, they can just send it and you don't have to open anything, do anything. It's already there, just as it's saying. It's a zero-click attack. The internet is key here. If you've got tablets and things like that, they're not going to be able to access or get this on there unless you connect to the internet. That's where they're getting through, and they're getting through the phone service just by, like I said, sending a message. They're using these vulnerabilities that they're finding. Just letting folks know, This seems to be something that's happening more and more. On the back end of this, we've got a huge breach that took place at Coinbase. This is different than most alerts that I've ever given you, because most of the time when we're talking about a hack, it's just that. It's like it's hacked, and it's like your banking information. It's like all the goods on the inside, things that, right? This one's different. This one was people working at certain facilities connected to Coinbase in other parts of the world, and they manually went in and was taking people's information and stealing information, which is super suspect. That information is people's, not only their names, but their addresses, where they live. And they're really putting the warning out there that this can end up getting people killed. Targeted, killed, kidnapped, I mean, you name it. The addresses and information on file stolen manually by people being nefarious at these places. And I don't I said it before, like this, when we're going to this biometric world, if the biometrics get hacked, like your eye, your iris scan, your fingerprints, all your bios, you can't replace that. You can't replace it. It's a dangerous thing you're stepping into. Who cares? Says huge landline and internet outage here in Canada nationwide earlier today. Thanks for getting my attention with that and letting us know. Any word on what caused it? Been keeping track of this because we've been seeing outages all across the globe. Spain also just witnessed a massive comms outage. This is after the big blackout that hit there. There's something going on. Someone's doing some like beta test. And for sure, much love, Gary. Always something going on. I mean, come on. Always some madness. I was thinking about it earlier today. This is just an all evil place. It's just everything is evil everywhere. Like literally, it's just a not good place. Majority of the people are all evil, doing bad things. And it's just the whole environment. And thank you, someone, for the coffees. The whole environment. Just look at nature. How animalistic it is. Predatorial it is. Because I believe you can have animals, you can have life, you can have nature, and it not all be like that, but it's all ravenous. Everything trying to kill each other and eat each other. You know? I mean, it's just... This whole world is like... It's based on... these negativities, man. And as I boiled it down to earlier, it's a testing ground. A proving ground. Is all that I can take from it in the end. And I believe that it is exactly what this place is. Don't ever forget it. And I believe something's watching that created all this. It's sitting there, out of sight, out of mind, watching everything, listening to the words I speak, watching everyone's actions, watching this whole thing evolve, like, play out every day. I can feel it, that somebody's watching. I used to most of my life be kind of oblivious to it. But now I feel it. I feel you watching. I attribute a lot of it to like what I call knowing. It was like a sixth sense. But I lean heavy on it. It's almost like a gut intuition, but stronger. This place is so evil, man. It's just so evil every day. I mean, look at all the stories I always got to cover. All the people in power are all evil. They all bow down and worship the same evil entities. You could argue over the small details, but that's what it is. I mean, and I'm over all the small details. I see the bigger picture. For everyone who wants to stay caught in a left-right paradigm or caught on the small stuff, and you see me just like, you're foolish. You're small-minded. I mean, that's why. I mean, it's hopefully at some point, most people graduate to there, they see where it's at, and I try to give people the knowledge while they're as young as possible so they can figure this out while they're young and live a good life, instead of having to spend decades trying to figure out the truth. Um, Anyhow, it always comes back to these people, the same ones, the same club that we're not a part of. Yeah. All right. We're gonna keep it pushing here. We're gonna jump into a little bit of talk about these flying taxis. Um, we'll see. We'll see if this comes to be true here. But some people are calling out this company that's supposed to be connected to the air taxis here. The air taxis are going to be rolled out at the 2028 LA Olympics. And they're marketing this like they're flying and they're saying they're not. Well, there's actually a video of them flying something. Some are like, man, that's no different than like a big remote control thing that they're flying here. And you see landing right there. I don't know. I'm waiting for anti-gravitics and all this stuff. They start talking about the flying aircraft. I've seen some clips of some guys flying some different vehicles way up in the sky, but none of it is close that I've seen to being approved, although the government has given the green light for them to do this. So, I mean, it can't be that hard. I've seen some prototypes out there that actually work. They take off like a vehicle and they fly in the air like a plane. They land and the wings can fold up and all that, but that's wings folding up. This thing's more like a drone. It's got propellers, and I'm not a big fan of this here, right? Because I'm a drone pilot, and I know what happens if just one of them propellers hits a bird, hits a tree, anything hits it. You're coming down. You're coming down quick. Just wait till that's caught on camera one time. Be horrific. Okay, thank you, Silver Sailor. And yeah, E-Phase, you got to be brave out there, huh? Elon Musk confirming the launch for robo-taxis. So this is going to become a thing here as well. It's going to be rolled out in Austin, in Texas, and you're going to start to see driverless taxis, robo-taxis, all over the place. Now, for inner city stuff and things like that, it may not be too bad. If it's like inner city, it's like 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour, something. If it's taking you some blocks, taking you in, dropping you off. I don't know. There's more jobs gone, taxi driver jobs going out the window. If Elon has it his way, he would put an Optimus bot inside of every single one of these things. Now, I seen a clip earlier where a guy was interviewing him. I believe it was on YouTube. That's why I can't play it here. And basically, Elon was saying that Optimus is going to be something everyone wants. Like every single person is going to want it. Every single person. That's what he's banking on. This robot. Now, it's scary to me because he's already got warehouses full, legions of these things. And it's the closest thing on this planet to Terminator that we've ever seen. Like the bots. Real deal. And what's not being talked about ever is the fact that he could simply add a weapon on any of them. We don't know what these models are like. We don't know what he's got inside of warehouses. They could be militarized. We don't know. And it wouldn't be hard to do. Put state-of-the-art lasers and guns and all types of crazy stuff on it. And you already know they're going to be bulletproof. His vehicles are bulletproof. So his war machines will definitely be bulletproof. And I keep stressing this to all the patriots out there. that have stacked ammunition for years. What are you going to do when they send in these bots? Because that's what it's going to be. It's time to change the way we were thinking. And like people got to get hip to it right now or just ignore it and get caught slipping. Because when one of these Optimus Primes or a handful of them are coming up your driveway, your little bullets, 7.62 by 3.9s, your ARs or AKs ain't doing nothing. 5 Optimus bots rolls up in a neighborhood, your lightweight's smoked. They're going to go house to house, and I have a hard time seeing anyone stopping them. Better start thinking of this. Things are changing quick. You used to think, oh, we're going to be battling the Chinese or the Russians and all this other stuff, which anything's a possibility. But I'm just saying, like, when you got to battle these bots, it's a different animal, and people are not even paying attention. Better have some kind of like EMP blaster. Like, I don't know, man. People better start like, I don't know. I say these things, and I already know people are going to get caught slipping. We don't reach enough. We should be reaching millions with the message, but so censored. You know, it's the way it is. They hate me. Remember, if I'm ever anything crazy happens to me, I die like a crazy way that like is mysterious. It's definitely them, just like everyone else. You know. Just wait till I get to the Diddy Prince stuff here in toward the end. Boy, oh boy. All right, I want to keep it pushing. That's really what the biggest thing that I've got on my mind I want to talk about tonight. But we've got a lot of stuff to cover here. I want to show this clip here real quick. I'm showing it because not only is it showing a clip of the and like, you know, people are around and almost get smashed, but it is how old the building is. It is one that dates back to 1375, the Ming Dynasty in China, and the roof, however old it was, decided to slide off here, crashing down to the ground. That is an old structure. Man, they're so lucky. I can't believe it. I mean, they're just still standing there looking at it. They're like, oh, everyone's sitting there looking in disbelief. Like, none of them ran. Just come crashing down. They all just stood there. That was just nuts. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy one. All right, I got an update here on these guys that are missing out of New Orleans. If you guys recall here, we had 10 inmates that escaped out of this hole, and it was pretty ridiculous. When we seen the images, it looked like it was fairly easy for them to cut this hole out of the wall. They even put it on the wall. They said, too easy, LOL. And they all got out. Well, 3 of them had been caught. 7 of them are still at large. They now have ward doubled. They were $5,000 per inmate. Now it's moved to $10,000 per inmate. So just saying, these guys, I'm not sure what they're all wanted for and all this and that, but this looks like a group of guys had enough, broke out of jail. And, they're living the wanted life now, which does make them dangerous. They're wanted, and they could do some drastic things. But, at least we're not having reports right now that, like, they're mass murderers and they're slicing people's throats all over the place. 5 at large now. Okay, thank you, E-Phase. Just update there. The death of Prince, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, it happened a while back, but we're gonna dive on exactly what happened, and a lot of things came to light in court at the Diddy trial. That, like I said, we're gonna tear into that. All right, so here's a quick look at the global military spending. The U.S. leads the way all day, no doubt about it. And look, flanking both sides. What do we got? Russia on the left, China on the right. Put them both together, they don't come nowhere close still to the U.S. How much is spent? The rest of the world, you see over here, 409 and a bunch of other smaller countries. But by and large, this country is the war machine. All right, you guys remember the report on Comey last week? He apparently was walking down the beach, saw some shells sitting there. You know, it said 8647. He gave this big, well-crafted lie and tried to say that he was innocent, that it wasn't telegraphing nothing. He tries to go on all these talk shows with his coffee in front of him and you know, even laugh about all the stuff, like and glaze it all over. Now, he is the former FBI director, so of course when these agents came and talked to him, like, I don't think, you know, this all show is how I see it. But I'm gonna play this clip so you can see the latest bit. This guy's actually trying to call him out here and put him on blast, and he tries to laugh it off again about this whole thing. I don't trust Comey. Say, I don't trust feds. Period. Again, the establishment. That's exactly what Comey is through and through all day long. He, like Hillary and all these others, should be in prison. But Trump's a fraud. If he's real, these guys would be rounded up on day one. Ain't nobody been rounded up. Get out of here. In terms of the corruption. Throwing everybody a bone with their black magic. Get out of
It
here.
actually still doesn't, that it's associated with violence.
It still doesn't, even though people have pointed it out that it has been used in that context?
Yeah, I've never seen it used in that context or heard it used in that context. Still.
How was your interview with the Secret Service about this?
Oh, good. They're total pros. I've worked with Secret Service for many, many years, and they asked the right questions, trying to understand why I did it. We had a very similar conversation to the one you and I just had.
Did you leave thinking that they believed you, or did you leave thinking they still had concerns?
Well, I don't have any reason to believe they don't believe me. And so I feel like they asked the right questions, and I can't imagine there'll be any more on it.
Your book is about sort of protected speech when protected speech becomes political violence. Is that a fair way to characterize it? It's about an extreme podcaster, right, who talks about things and then there are acts of political violence.
Right. It's about a right-wing extremist trying to motivate followers to violence through his words and his broadcast.
It's interesting that your book is about that, and now there is this discussion about speech, things said, and whether it can be motivating toward violence, yes?
Yeah, not interesting to me. A bit of a distraction, actually. But the book's about an important question. I
mean, he just said it. You can see what they're geared toward going after. They just said it. Someone just like me. Someone just like me. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or anything like I want to in this position, but he just said, you know, right wing. So by definition in their book, that means anti-government, against the beast, because that's just what it is to them. That's what they call anyone that goes against the establishment. A live streamer trying to get his audience, see, then he goes on to say, trying to get his audience to incite violence, which is one thing, you know, we're not stupid. Right here, we know, I'm just not stupid. Like, we see what they want. They want just that. They would love for me to be out here spewing, saying all this stuff and keep people going. And if I was, they would attack me and tear me down. I'd be gone in a heartbeat. That's why I don't understand how some of these other characters that have shown up here just in the past couple of years that are all over X and all this other stuff with the streams and their posts, popularity, hundreds of thousands of followers. They're spewing this stuff against certain religions and people racially, and they're not getting attacked. Now, if we were to do a fraction of what they were doing, they crucify us. So when I look at these other people getting away with doing all this, I see them as being controlled opposition out here. Because the real get attacked, get shut down in ways that, like, these other cats just don't seem to get affected by. Without naming any names. It's just pretty obvious. You'll tell them about their fruits out here. All right, let's go on to this next one. You may remember LaMonica McIver attacking federal agents. I just laugh at the story because, I mean, what was she thinking? She faces 8 years in prison, but I'm like, all right, how much is she actually going to get out of this whole thing? Some people are like, what? Well, I'll play this clip here. It sums it up.
In D.C., not here inside of the courtroom. She's going to appear. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver is in Washington, D.C., not here inside of the courtroom. She's going to appear virtually. She's looking at serious felony charges of assault and could face jail time. But if you ask her, she didn't do anything wrong. If you ask President Trump, he says, roll that tape. Watch.
The days of woke, no, I didn't. The days of woke are over. That woman, I have no idea who she is. That woman was out of control. She was shoving federal agents. She was out of control. The days of that crap are over in this country. We're going to have law and order.
You can see McIver in this red blazer as investigators say she was shoving and elbowing ICE agents. I went through all the court documents, Harris, and it lists that she grabbed one agent and tried to restrain him and then pushed another, striking him with her forearms. And DHS says, just look at the video. It's all there. McIver was with two other members of Congress, all Democrats.
They're trying to make an example out of her.
Says they were just there to check on the migrants inside. They wanted to make sure they were safe and were able to use the phone. But DHS says you can't just show up and push your way past the gates. You have to make an appointment. Democratic leadership is showing their support, though, for the Congresswoman. They're threatening to ramp up more oversight visits to ICE facilities, saying they're not going to be intimidated by the Trump administration.
We know there was political reflection.
I'm not listening to his crap. But, yeah. They're making an example out of her because she put her hands on feds. Illuminati. Elon Musk. He's showing a little. He's showing a little bit of a different look now. He's backed away from the Trump administration, and he's kind of signaling that he's not going to be putting in a whole bunch of money into the Trump administration. Basically, he'll do what he sees fit as they go along. Won't play this clip though. That lets him explain it himself here a little bit better. He's asked this at this virtual conference where he chimes in. Here we go.
Influence. I wondered whether you have decided yet how much you're going to spend on the upcoming midterms. Is it you spent a lot more money on the last US election than you envisaged when you were speaking here 3 years ago? Are you going to continue to spend at that kind of level on future elections?
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Okay. What about political influence beyond the US? How often do you speak to President Putin?
I don't speak to President Putin.
You've never spoken to President Putin?
I was on a video call with him once about 5 years ago.
Okay. That's the only.
Why would you think I speak to President Putin? You must. I get it.
Because
You
I've
believe
heard
the
you
legacy.
speak. Actually, I've heard you speak about it. For example, in your West Point speech, you said, "Oh, I challenged President Putin to was it an arm wrestle?" And I know the Wall Street Journal has reported your reported conversations.
Yes.
If you're saying they haven't happened other than once, I'll take that as read.
Is there a worse publication on the face of the earth than the Wall Street Journal? I wouldn't use that to line up my cage for paratroopings.
Okay, so he's basically saying that he's not spending a lot of money in the political realm. That's what I wanted to point out there. I don't know, this whole thing, I think is like falling apart, the charade. I mean, for me, I see through it left-right paradigm, but I see more and more people are waking up to it. And when they wake up, when people first wake up to things, they have a violent reaction to it. Don't ever forget that. When all these Trumpers wake up to they've been played, the first reaction is pissed, and like they take it out on anyone. You know, someone like me that reveals it to them will shoot the messenger, and that's just part of the process sometimes. More and more people, though, are starting to see this, and people are going to save their integrity. Everything else, people are going to have to start calling them out for these things. It's pretty bad when Bernie Sanders starts to lay it out there, and you can like you can agree with me of his points that the Democrats suck, and and all this other stuff. But I'm gonna play this clip.
70s, 60s, Democrats caught on that you could raise a lot of money from wealthy people, and that be that. So it gets back to campaign financing and all that stuff. So you got a Democratic establishment now, which is funded by wealthy people. You have consultants who are really way out of touch with reality, who make a whole lot of money in campaigns, and working class is ignored. Donald Trump comes along and says, I care about you, which was a lie. So I
don't know if that's a lie. I'd give pushback on that. I think that it has to be proven that it's a lie.
All right, I'll prove it.
Yes, thank you. And you're right, I could look through rose-colored glasses, but the idea, I think that when people are struggling, anybody who goes, hey, I'm going to help you out.
That in what he just said, when people are struggling, anyone that comes along and says, hey, I'm going to help you out, or makes it seem that way, it opens up this door like it did for the Gentile Messiah, for Trump. And it's worked wonders for him at this point. Another clip here.
He ran on this idea of we're going to make it better for you, instead of Kamala seemed to run on this idea like, hey, it's good, we're going to keep doing the exact same thing, which is a losing strategy.
You got it.
So
that was her bloody consult. I mean, I know Kamala. She's a friend. She's very smart. That was what her bloody consultants told her to say. I begged them. I'm just between you.
Why can't she push back? Like at a certain,
you're right. Look, there's no argument.
And this is the problem I think a lot of voters had, is like they didn't even know if it was her. We didn't even know if Biden was president. We didn't even know if these were her talking points.
These are Dems saying this. These are Democrats saying this. You see what I'm saying? Like, they realize the whole thing's a sham, and like sitting there saying it like.
And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016, I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you have a choice.
Called him out.
And I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But
even Bernie's wife doesn't even agree with him.
You're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton, or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But it ended up being him anyway, so why don't we burn it down?
Well, because it's easy to say burning it down means that children are not going to have food to eat, that the schools will deteriorate, people will not have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my back on.
But then could we not also say, if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat?
All right, stopping it there. I just wanted to play all this piece here so you could see how the Dems, like, they spoke some honest stuff, or I'm about truth around here. And so if they want to call out their own side for what it is, like, or, call out the garbage for what it is, well, is what it is. Okay? All right. We're going to dive into one of the bigger, juicier stories here that I have for tonight, because this whole bill they're trying, the big, beautiful bill. You should know anytime that they slap a big name on it like that, big, beautiful bill, and they got a bunch of things standing out front they're trying to point to and talk to, talk about, to try to convince you that this bill is going to cover this, and like they'll hit 10 bullet points. I've actually covered 10 bullet points on a different show of what this big bill has in it and represents at the front. It's always about what's buried inside of it, deep inside. The pork, as they call it. The stuff hidden that gets you every time. The stuff that is tyrannical. And, well, here we go. I'm going to start right here. Senate unanimously passes a No Tax on Tips Act with unanimous consent. Okay? But what's this part of? It says the House is currently weighing the proposal in a larger Trump-backed, big, beautiful budget reconsolidation bill. So this is one of them things that, like, anyone out there that all they see and hear is, we don't want no tips, or any tax on our tips, which is huge. It's a big thing. It's a big thing for people out there to get paid in tips that you don't have to pay no taxes on. That is a big thing. Okay. But this is like a carrot on a stick for what I'm about to show you. And look, Mike Johnson, or whatever his freaking name is here. Yeah, Mike Johnson. He's these characters. He's trying to up by Memorial Day deadline is what they've got right there. So they're trying to get it pushed through quick, and they're hoping people don't figure out really what's going on. They said that there's been 537 amendments submitted to these rules and to everything that's in them. Well, it's going to take some time, unless they just take the stuff out and vote right there. But look, there's something that's about to happen that is not good. Hidden within this whole bill, in this 1,116 page, one big, beautiful bill act, there's a provision that's so sweeping and so dystopian and so underreported that it's hard to believe that it was passed at all. But this committee, they whipped it together. And the House and the Senate, they're going to vote on it this week, and then it's done. Once they get through there, man, it's signed. It's going to be pushed through. This is section 43201. Put a video out on this. It is blandly titled the Artificial Intelligence and Information Technology Modernization Initiative. And it doesn't just fund the federal government full-scale AI expansion. It removes, and pay attention, this is the key. This is the key. Listen to this. It removes every single state's right to regulate AI for the next decade. And let that sink in for a minute. For the next 10 years, no state in America, not even your state, no matter where you live, will be allowed to create any safeguards, any protections, any liability standards, or anything against AI. Anything. This is one of the biggest traps ever. No one's talking about it. None of these so-called other truthers out here, any other places, is mentioning it or talking about it. Everyone's just walking around with their head in clouds or something. I don't know what's going on, man. But like, this isn't like super secret. Okay. I mean, as you can see it here on Zero Hedge. But like, are people being paid not to talk about it or something? Like, what's going on here? This removes every state's right to regulate artificial intelligence for the next decade. That is, you should be like slamming the alarm bells. You know, everyone, like, again, this is like, are people going to soak this up? I tried to say in the video, reach out to your representatives, your senators, your congressmen, send them an email, a message, call the office, leave a short message. Just calling in the office, talking to the secretary and blowing them up, lets them know some things. It knows that this is a hot topic. And like, it's easy to do. Pick up a phone. Or, just email them. And let them know that this is the case. But I'm going to tell you right now, nobody's going to do nothing because they never do. And this is just going to get passed through. You watch. And everyone's just going to sit there knowing these whores that they just let pass because they sat there with their mouth shut. It's like if somebody was walking through the store and pulled out a gun and started shooting people, and like, you could stop them. You had a gun and like everything else. Wouldn't you do it? Or are you just going to sit there and watch? That's all anybody does, sit there and watch. No action. So, I don't know. This is, it's out there. I'm just letting you guys know that they signed this into law in the coming week or so. You're going to see AI rolled out in a dystopian fashion all the way through 2030. 2035 is the next benchmark date. We've talked a lot about 2030 because that's what they were targeting. Now what's been brought up a lot is 2035. In that window afterwards, getting things done by them. Basically a decade from now. And I think it shows also that we do have a power to push things back. If the people actually do something, if they get out there and they do something, they get proactive, like, we have a power. If we just use it, just, again, the powers and the people in politics we address. If people sit there and they're silent, they just push these things. So I don't know. This is one of those super tyrannical things. It is basically a federal power grab dressed up modernization. It's what it is. Yep. And this is all pushing Trump's $500 or $500 billion Stargate AI surveillance grid. What do you know about that? Yeah. It's right here on the screen. You can click on it. It's a whole initiative. Okay. They got $500 billion going to. What is that? Stargate AI. Yeah. Surveillance grid. Yeah. You're watching us from everywhere. From space in real time. From every single camera. There's a movie that had Shiloh, whatever his name is, in it. I think it was Eagle Eye. I think that's it. From years ago. I didn't see the whole movie, but it caught my attention and I looked all into it. And I ended up going online and watching little bits and pieces of it to get some details of it because it caught my attention of what it was about. And it was about, basically, they were running around and they were being watched everywhere. Like, person gets up and, like, say they've got cameras in their house for security. Like, those cameras are watching. Like, the moment they wake up. Maybe they got one in the room, maybe in the hallway, wherever. But, like, the day begins every time they step in front of these cameras and they're being watched. And like, they're being spied on through all these different devices. So they're tracking them, like the government's tracking them. And what they're trying to show you in this movie is that they can see you and track you everywhere. So they leave. And like say they step out into the front porch and the ring cam is got them. And the government's got that too. It's watching you. It's tapped into it instantly. It's going from camera to camera. And like you hop in your vehicle, you back out driveway, you head down the street, and like there's maybe cameras at the light and everything. All those cameras, the closest camera is like picking you up and watching you. It's watching your every move. And now they're tracking you every single place. They know you're going left at the light, all the way down to the next light. It's got a set of cameras. And they're watching you there. Even if you go to get on the highway, they've got cameras set up all over the place. Anywhere that you're going. You stop at a store, you hop out, you go into the store, they're watching you. Now they can see you inside the store, on the store cameras. They're watching you down every aisle, all the stuff. That's what Eagle Eye was all about. And I thought it was pretty crazy. I mean, man, years ago, I haven't been on one of them sites in a minute, but years ago, there were sites that like you could go onto and like there was just cameras all over the world. You could literally like click around the world and like just click on any open camera. And what was crazy about it is like anything that you clicked on could be anything. You don't know. It could be a bank camera. It could be someone's house camera. It could be a camera on someone in the backyard, like working in the garden, and it's all live. It could be a baby camera in someone's room, in a house. And it's like thousands and thousands, if not millions, of cameras that are open. All these cameras people purchase every day and all that, they can just easily be hacked into, so to speak, opened up and shared with the world, and they are. It's crazy. And I don't know, this all reminds me of that. When you get AI overseeing this, it's going to track you everywhere, just like I just told you, just like that movie. And when you get your cell phone in your pocket, you're already done. It's already been wrapped. They found a way to make you carry a device with you all the time, no matter where you're at. Everyone, for the most part, all over the place. Everywhere you go. Tracks your every move. Everyone's got that cell phone. Got their wallet, got the cell phone, got the keys, and this and that. Yep. You got your electronic tracking device. No one wants to see it as that. You know it is. But I have to. Well, technically, you don't have to. You could be smarter. Could move a little wiser if you had to, but people have nothing to fear right now. They don't think. They don't see the bigger picture. But again, AI will be tracking you everywhere. And it knows your moves. Like say you wake up, you go to the store, you head into work, get off work, stop by, check this out, do this, that, the other, head home, you're home. It's the same. You got a routine. Like it's mapping you. It's got you circled out every day. It's got this is what they got on everyone. They've got a file, a digital database on you, on all of us, on everything that they gather on a daily basis. And when you put AI in charge and on top of all this, oh my gosh, man. This is going to get super scary because at this point, you're super predictable. If they want you, AI will tell them just by looking at the data and looking at your pattern. Like, all right, they get up every day. They go to work. It's going to do all this in milliseconds. It's going to calculate the best time for them to intercept you. You're most vulnerable. And if you're not hip to all this and aware and all this, people are just sitting ducks. People are sitting ducks to this. And the devices and the electronics is largely what they're going to use and to do it all. And remember, they can use Wi-Fi to map a whole building. They can use the Wi-Fi that's in the building and they can see through the whole building. They can see everything that's in it. There's a bird in a cage, cat running around, dog, this and that, how many humans are in there. They can see it all. Yes, they can. So, yeah, like, it gets wild right now. And imagine AI in control of that. It can see everything in your house just through all of that. Not to mention any other cameras or anything else. If you got a camera on your laptop, you got opened up or anything else like that, they could tap right into it and you'd never know. And I've long suspected that there's hidden cameras in many of these things, in different monitors, TVs, things of that nature. Different ones. So I trust none of it. But again, if you have to go on the run for your life, you're running from Terminator bots. I mean, imagine what they've already done. And again, this has been done for decades. You got to pay attention to what they've been doing. They'll target people's cell phones to have them killed. They'll get drone struck off a cell phone. And it could be some kid that got his dad's phone that just bought it, and the dude was able to terrorist or something. He could be out in the cow field milking the cow and playing on the phone, and gone, smoked, because they just target the phone. This has been going on. I shared a clip over on X, and some people just can't take the truth. But the White House puts out a clip. They're like, just killed more terrorists. And when you look at the clip, it was humans walking through woods. Looked like they all had white shirts on, which if they were militants and all that would make no sense to me. And they would have to be aware of drone strikes. But anyhow, they tried to say that they were extremist terrorists. The same thing they try to call all of us. And because they called them extremist or terrorist, it justified them blowing them away in the video and showing it to you in broad daylight from a drone, showing it from above and then smoking them, blowing them away. And it's like, hold on, like, you have no clue who this is. You have no idea who they just murdered, and you're just going to accept it as they were terrorists when they're sitting there calling us terrorists. Like, oh my gosh, like, it's coming. People better learn from the mistakes of others and what other people got to do in other countries. Now, Afghanistan defeated our military in slight because they were able to shoot down all the drones and the helicopters because of the mountains. The mountains defeated them. There was no way that they could see down in the middle. There's no way around it. You can't see down in every crack and crevice of deep mountains unless you're above them. And they've tried to get really high, but they can only go so high. And that's where the battle began, of spotting the drones or whatever it is up there really high, and shooting it down. And you're susceptible. And they were getting all types of drones and choppers, everything else shot down. Because you roll right over a valley, there's some dudes down there with some missiles, they're going to shoot right at the belly of it and take it out. Now, that's going to come to America here at some point, I feel. We're about to have this war go hot at the border, southern border, with the cartels, which, again, that's a whole nother animal, whole nother crazy situation we go on and on about, but that hasn't even really begun. First shots really haven't even begun. I feel like it's like everything else. It's got a window where it's going to be played and begin. My prediction is by summer, and it has been at this point. It's really going to pop off with the border and strikes and all that and events. But remember, we just had this individual go into this facility, and they labeled it a terror attack that blew everything up. He blew himself apart. That's kamikaze. It just happened. Expect more. I warned you of this. Anyhow, I put these warnings out. All I can do is warn, right? I hope people heed the signs, share the information, and friends and family to see that these are issues. These are big time issues and problems. Experts also warning that the big beautiful bill, I mean, just the name alone should strike you as like an issue. Like there's something. What are they doing here? They got this name. They're saying that it can codify big land grabs. And I bet it is. I bet it does. Because buried deep within it is all this carbon jargon crap. You would think they would have took out. But no. BlackRock and Vanguard, as they mentioned right here, all right here tied into all this. Like, man, people are being played so bad, but because people are afraid to call out Trump or whatever, this is going to get pushed through. All this is in this big, beautiful package that they're trying to ram through. AI stuff, all of it. It's like a huge red alert. So that's the big, beautiful bill exposed. Just ticks me off, man. I can't stand Trump just because of what he is and who he is in this time. That anyone that's awake, when they dubbed him the Gentile Messiah, you knew what we were dealing with. He is special. I'll give you that. He's chosen. He is a chosen one. He definitely is. For his role. But doesn't mean that he's good. He'll tell them by their fruits. But anyone that voted for Trump or is heavy in Trump and all this, they're going to be defensive of him. And again, that means you're hook, line, and sinker into the left-right paradigm. And you got to see it. These guys are all players. They're actors in real time. Is what they are, to play the people. That's why we're sitting here sharing and telling you all these atrocities. All these bills, like the big, beautiful one that I just told you about, and all the criminal stuff in it. It's all being pushed by Trump and everyone. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about that for a minute? You want to talk about Mr. Warp Speed? They had Bill Gates in Mar-a-Lago and arrest him? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about none of it, do you? And think so. Cowards. That's what cowards do. You do what cowards do, right? And we keep it real around here. Again, I've give Trump props when they're due, and we call him out where it's due, because that's what honest people do. We don't just hop on a bandwagon and be afraid to call him out because the crew, the gang, the MAGA is going to hate you or scoff at you or look down at you. No, I don't think so. Like, that whole thing is going to fall apart. It's going to run out of steam anyway. Trump's done. He's made it clear that, like, if they wouldn't have done these last minute moves with Biden and everything that the establishment wanted to do, he'd done be retired somewhere. He'd be sitting somewhere doing something else, enjoying life. But no, he's doing this. I'm going to play this clip.
And we got the Olympics, and then we got through Johnny, who's the boss. He's a friend of mine. We got the World Cup. I got them both. And I said, man, I won't be president. I got the Olympics and the World Cup, and I won't be president. And they're going to forget that I got them. Nobody's going to mention it because, a little bit, that's the way life is. And then they rigged the election. And then I said, you know what I'll do? I'll run again, and I'll shove it up their ass. And that's what I did. And all of a sudden, I then realized, I said, you know what? I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup, and I got the 250th. Look at the way this works out. So if they would have left us alone and wouldn't have cheated on the election and wouldn't have rigged it, I would have been retired right now. I would have been happily doing something else. And instead, they have me for 4 more years. Can you believe it? So it hasn't happened.
You see what I'm saying? He just said it. It's these little moments and these little things, because it's off teleprompter. Anything that these clowns say off teleprompter is worth listening to, because they give things away, man. All the time. It's like he was prepared to be retired, basically. But no, the establishment needed him for 4 more years. The whole Trump train comes to an end after this. And it's like, my thing is, no one lives forever. I mean, come on now. there has to be a torch passed. Like, there has to be someone new. That's why we looked at J.D. Vance and what they're trying to do with him. They've got the 4 years here to do it, to warm everybody up to him, unless some other character comes along that has the charisma and likability, because really that's all it's about. And I don't think J.D. Vance has a fraction of anything near the star power or anything that Trump carries. He's just not trying, he has none of it. And they're never going to match that. They're never going to match that. In my opinion. They're fitting to do some crazy things with Trump in there right now. And he kept saying, they are the people, his handlers, that control him. That got him in there for this. The ones that gave him a big silver crown and call him the Prince of Peace. This is on video. The rabbis calling the Gentile Messiah for a reason. Like, he's playing a part. He's playing a role here. It's rather obvious at this point to me. That's how I see it. He's playing a role. And it's what he is, man. He's an actor. Let's play some of this out. Because some of the stuff gets comical. But you got to call this out because they want to sit there again. You want to go, the white man, kill the white man. Last I checked, Trump's a white man. And so they play, or he's an orange man. They play this clip in the White House to the South African president, them calling for death to the Boer or the white farmer and all this.
Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
He gets serious.
Johan.
Look at these laughing.
With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Can we draw my membership from this useless parliament? Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
So Trump's sitting there making them watch this in the White House here. And then he's going to turn and he's going to go off on them.
It's a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Pajama and Suri will not be touched. They will be touched. No one. But we're starting with this whiteness. We're cutting the throat of whiteness.
Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer.
You can see Trump. I kind of fast forwarded it there. You can see this guy sitting here frozen on the left. Trump's looking at the screen, kind of leaning back. It's a very awkward situation. Dude's froze. Dude's like froze. And he's sitting there like a statue. Now he
This
finally
is
moves.
very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
Basically, he brought him in to call him out about this whole thing, and they kind of just all sat there. In all the clips you can look, they just kind of sat there and like looked at him, and they didn't even like say much. Yeah. What it is, yeah, regulators mount up. Silent Walk new leader saying, yep. Yeah, it is a cult. Everything else. Well, see, that's the problem right now. Here's the situation we find ourselves in. We all know they made you choose between the Biden regime and Trump. That's over. It's in the rearview. Now, anyone that jumped on the Trump train, that spews it all day long on social media, on X, that is like, got into it like it's a gang or a religious something every single day of your life or their lives. It's geared toward this. Like, there's got to be accountability here, man. It keeps coming back to that. When Trump does bad things or they do things, like, people have got to keep it honest. And I've lost so much respect for so many people out there that can't seem to do that. Just keep it real. Cats I thought were real. Unfortunately not. They're pandering to this whole thing. And it's like, no, like, you succumb to the beast, to the establishment. You're like buddying up with it and pushing its agendas and ideals and all this stuff. And like, no. Like, where are you at on all these topics? Like, we need you. See, slowly people are going to give way. It's going to break way. Like, there's going to be topics that, like tonight, we talked about the whole AI thing that they're hiding and ramming down, which is a huge thing. Like, Trump and his administration should be called out on it. But since the Trump crowd is like brainwashed and like under black magic spells and afraid to even open their mouth, they're not saying nothing. But like, there needs to be someone with the bullhorn from that side calling it out, at least keeping them honest. And we can't seem to find it. It's because they don't want to look bad. Everyone has built up these accounts under the Trump train over the years, and it's their identity now. So if they dare go against it, MAGA will, scald them, and they'll be like outcasted, and they won't be a part of their big club no more. You see, that's what this is all about, by and large. So it's pathetic. People need to be honest and real, no matter what, man. And again, thank you, someone, for the coffees. Keep it pushing here. Tulsi says that, I don't trust her at all, obviously. None of them. But she tries to say, is there any wonder that Fauci sought a pardon? A preemptive pardon? I wish that these pardons, especially the auto-pen pardons, would get taken away. But as you're about to see here in a minute, this whole thing is a ruse. It's all show. They're not going to do nothing. No pardons are going to be taken away. No one's going to go after Biden or the Biden Clinton crime syndicate, a man, Donald Trump, that ran his very first race on Hillary for prison and all that, basically a lie to his base. She's running free. She was right there in inauguration day, front and center, with Bill and everyone else, and no one got arrested. None of it. It's all show. It's a charade, man. I'm sick of it. How many times you got to get led by the nose around the block? How many times you got to go through it before you wake up? Well, me, not many. Okay, some people may take them a time or two, a few times, a dozen times. I don't know. Everyone's different, but man, people better get with it, man. You've been played by the Trump regime, that's for sure. And look here. Trump issues an astonishing defense of Joe Biden while revealing who is actually responsible for destroying America. And he calls it treason at the highest levels. Gosh, the more I look at Biden, man, it looks like a mask. Actually, it really does. It looks like it really does. On someone. This character here. It really does. Anyhow, Biden, obviously, late-stage cancer. They kept it secret this whole time. That's whole psyop, but I covered in the last video, or the last live stream. So this is what Trump says. He claims there's a shadowy network of advisors who took advantage of his cognitive decline, and they wreaked havoc on the country. Garbage. Who? Name. Arrest him. Garbage. Liars. Bold face. And he's covering his boy because they're on the same team. That's how the establishment works, man. Maybe one day, for those out there on the Trump train, they'll get it and they'll see it before it's too late. It probably already is. I mean, we're already here. I mean, as long as you awaken, that's the victory. That's truly the victory. So that can be won at any moment. It's on you to see it for what it is. I don't sit up here and say these things because I want to bash Trump or I want to do this. No, I'm not saying how I live my life just to go around bashing things. No, but unfortunately, we got to cover all this negative stuff and bring what's in the dark into the light. And they're on the same team, and I've never hit it about Trump. I'll come out swinging at the gates on what he really believes in. Trump Tower, 66th floor penthouse suite, where Barron spent most of his childhood alone, roaming around inside the chambers up there, all gold. There's not a picture of Jesus anywhere. Yeshua, it's not. The fallen there is. That's right. Apollo, the children of Zeus. It's who they worship. The fallen. That are out of sight, out of mind. It's very clear. On the tables, on the walls, the mural, on the ceiling. All of it. And I've been calling this out for the longest time. And that's from Jump Street. That was before any of all this. This goes back. It goes back years and years and years ago. Exposing that stuff. So we've known it's a cult. Until you understand that this is magic and it's a cult, you're still being hit by their magic spell. When you awaken from it, you actually break free of it. You break the spell. It's truly what it is. 100%. These guys, man, I'm going to keep it pushing here. I wanted to point that out, though. They're on the same team. You know what it takes me back to? If you go back to John Kerry and George Bush, the original George Bush and John Kerry, they were both bonesmen. Skull and bones. Some of you need to go back and dust off, dust up here, and you need to get caught up on some things or refreshed on some things. They're on the same team, and the Bonesmen were all Masonic. And John Kerry went down the aisle of the Democrat. Bush is a Republican. Both on the same squad, man, playing the people. And if you can understand that concept and not forget it and fall back asleep at the wheel, you understand this is one big club that we're obviously not a part of, like Carlin said. It truly is. These actions right here, it sickens me. Like, he ran his whole first thing on Hillary for prison. Trump did his whole first campaign. It was a lie. It was a fraud. It was just to win people over. And like, you can't see that. Like, here we are. Mystery. He should go to jail. All the fraud. We were just starting to get somewhere with the auto pen scandal and everything else. But then guess what? They threw a life raft out there. All of a sudden, they played a wild card when they'd been holding here. Obviously, because he has had cancer the whole time. Everybody knows this at this point. But they decided to play the card now, which gives him a sympathy card and gives him an out card that he's about to die. He's a president. You can see how Trump's treating it. He's basically saying he's innocent and all this other stuff and defending him and all this other stuff and saying that it's the shadow group. Well, where's the shadow group, partner? You're the shadow group, son. You're the Gentile Messiah. See, some of us, we've got this figured out. We see it clearly. It's just trying to get the other people to see it clearly. Trying to wake some of these people up. Like, yeah, it's all right if you voted for Trump. Okay, yeah, we know. It was a ruse. You had to pick him over Biden. We don't hold nothing against you for that. We get it. Okay? But now that you're in here, you got to hold them accountable. And you got to start to see it for what it is. Those have the eyes to see, man. You see it for what it is. You see what they've done. You see that they've laced this thing with a bunch of likable faces for everyone to fall in love with and all this, from, Hegseth to Bondi to Tulsi to Patel and Bongino, which just recently were exposed as frauds. They put RFK the same way. All these characters, man, they were done the same way. They seeded them into the minds of the base before all this in different ways. Whether it was RFK heavy on X to the Children's Health Fund, or Bongino on live streams over here trying to act like he's doing something, calling out garbage. It's all front. Just for this very moment, pull Patel and Bongino out there to the base and look at it with a stone cold face and say, "No, I've seen the files. He killed himself. Yeah, whatever. Like, you piece of crap. Like, you're all garbage." And we already knew this. It's not shocking me. It's not a surprise. But come on, base. Come on, Trump base. Come on, man. Where you at on this one? Come on, people got to start calling this out. I say some people catch some popularity if they do. Someone needs to do it. Someone needs to be honest and real about it and say, I'm sick of this. What they're doing here ain't right. It's okay to do that, but again, it goes back to the whole thing. MAGA will turn on you. It will turn on them, and that's what they're afraid of. Really. That's what this all comes back down to. It's a gang threatening and all this other stuff. And you heard it, you see it in the call. People say it's a cult. And you wonder why. Oh, never, ever. And shame on all the SOBs out there that use the whole thing just to make money. All of them. Yeah, selling T-shirts again. Hillary for prison. Dudes made millions, and stickers and bumper stickers and all this other stuff, man. Every single Trump event that I ever went to, like half of it is just part of a festival where people are selling stuff and gear and buttons and shirts and all this stuff. It's in their product, booth set up and all this stuff, for real. That's what it is. And they use the whole movement to sell the product. And will continue to do so. Some of them continue to do so. I hope some of them just, they're out here trying to sell stuff to you left and right, like Alex Jones. Hell, I seen the Hodge twins out there. Man, them boys go overboard with it. They see them talk about methyl blue, so they went out and they got their own stuff of methyl blue, and they're selling it too. They just don't seem to care. They don't care about the health repercussions. They ain't saying none of that to you. They don't care. All these guys do is want to push a product code, a product on you left and right. Like, it's crazy. And that's all it's been about. That's all I've seen. I've sat back, I've watched this through 2 cycles now. You know, two Trump elections. And, you know, we're just getting going here with the second, but it's like I already know what this is all about. Like, I'm ready for some other people to, yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Some people are unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Put a lot of faith and hope, even friendships, into a lot of people over these years, and other people have sold it out. I'm telling you, I can't seem to get them to call out Trump for nothing on anything, like legitimately. You know, like some of this thing's stupid, man. You see it all from a mile away, and like I just said, doing the whole AJ thing, I've seen it for years. And just all these other people set up all these different booths all the time just to make money off the people, off this movement. And more energy was put into that than fighting the good fight. And that's where it all went wrong. So Biden was the first fully deep state president, they say. Oh, really? Like, they're just going to try to pin everything on him. That's garbage. That's a distraction. That's feeding into, again, the idea that Trump's not, or that Bill Clinton, you know, wasn't controlled by them, and all. Get out of here. You know, the Bushes wasn't, you know, they pulled off everything that they did. Like, come on. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Guys that oversaw huge events like Blind 11 and everything else. Look, I'm not going to play this clip, but we even got another Democrat lawmaker here that is admitting that Biden was not running the country. And he says maybe we should have asked questions. Well, hey, like the Bernie Sanders clip that I showed earlier, and the other dude, at least they're being honest about it. At least they're calling it out. And I'll share that. I don't trust them. I don't trust Bernie. Not like, but if they're going to speak some truth, I'm going to show you what they're doing. It definitely controlled ops. The controlled ops is a huge problem. Call it COINTELPRO, call it whatever. These shills, as I've always called them. Much love, Crown Jewels. My brother. Yeah, man. It's the enemy. It's the enemy. Enemies all over the place, man. These shows, man. These Tim Pools. These guys out here that aren't really in it for anything, that are getting paid millions. That, like, that's why I tell you all the time. Like, the real cats, they get attacked. They suffer through all these things. The shills don't. They get blasted out there. They're making millions. It's obvious then. It's obvious. There's a line in the sand on who's working for the man and who's not. You know, so what we got here? Well, I told you the whole cancer thing with Biden obviously is a cover up, and they're just now saying it now. I think it's like a card they're playing, a well-timed card. Not even CNN was buying this. I thought that was kind of comical. I'm not gonna bore you with the clip here. All right, so the Trump DOJ is saying that criminal charges should be brought against Jill Biden, and all of a sudden the whole family is like, MIA, missing in action. Well, they can't be that far. They can't be that far. I don't want to hear this crap. They're rolling with a Secret Service detail, no doubt. And you got their number, right, boys? Call them up, Cash. Call them, or whoever's in charge of the Secret Service there, like Bongino and the boys, like call them up. Like, you should just be able to track where the cell phone's at. Know where they're at. Give me a break. Act like they're... Well, if that's the case, like, nah. They're never going to get away with trying to pin this on Jill Biden. Maybe they do to some extent. I guess it's all of what the people will accept, right? People have accepted some crazy things, so that's what they're trying to do now. But look, he's had this for a long time. Garbage. Oops. All right. Gonna jump around the world stage here real quick. We're going to check around on a couple of different war fronts, and then we're going to dive into some Epstein, the Diddy stuff, some Pope stuff, and it seems that they're all interconnected with one thing in common: the trafficking of people. And we're going to dive into that. So 80% of French women want the army in the streets to protect the cities and to protect them. They're that scared. They're that freaked out. That's how bad this is at this point. Sending in droves of foreigners that were never meant to assimilate, that were never meant to fit in. This happened in all the places. It's happened everywhere at this point. It was part of their plan. It's pretty obvious to me at this point. See here. Houthis say that they're going to attack a port in Israel. The stuff anymore, I just don't get. Like, who... the world's a stage. Like, if you're really going to attack an enemy and do this, like, I'm not putting it out in the media. I'm not blasting it. Like, oh yeah, we just added this to the chart. Like, get out of here. Like, we ain't... Like, if you really want to hit it in this net and cause some damage, do some things, element of surprise is key in the whole thing, right? So, like, you remove all that with the shenanigan headlines. Like, get out of here. Add this to the target list. Like, you're just feeding a script. It's all any of this crap is anymore. Israel is preparing a possible preemptive attack on Iran and their nuclear facilities. U.S. intelligence. You could just go a couple different ways. Some of these stories, they seed into the minds of the people to get them prepared to accept, what they've been trying to get you to accept for for a decade or more. The boogeyman Iran making bombs in the basement somewhere over there. Yet Israel claims they don't have anything, and the whole world knows they do. And all this other stuff. It's a ridiculous game. But Israel more than the interest of the West being rolled out in the region. The Mossad. They say that doesn't stand for the people of Israel. Just like this freaking government doesn't stand for me or you here in America. There's a big difference. So, the Mossad, that's why I always label it the Mossad, is that whole regime. Just as you would say the whole Trump regime, and the CIA and everyone that's part of it. Obviously, Cash Patel, Bongino, the whole thing is fraudulent, compromised. It's done. It's ridiculous, man. And it's all controlled by, as far as I can tell, the deadliest ones that are out there. Whoever is the deadliest. And that seems to be the Mossad at this rate. And the CIA, they go hand in hand. But man, on the daily, just not giving up, is the Mossad. Look here. Talk about not caring. I told you, they fired on the UN, all the stuff, crazy stuff here recently. Look what they just did. Look at this headline. Israeli troops fire shots at international visiting the West Bank. These were European EU diplomats, and they had all go running, and they were getting fired at from within a football field's range on camera right there. Like, they're lucky nobody got dropped. That's how brazen Israel is, and they don't care. Was shooting people every day, bombing, blowing people to smithereens. Every day we see just parts of people left, and it's women and children every day, every single day, every day. And they'll go and they'll feed the small-minded a headline that says, "Oh yeah, we had to bomb Hamas." Like, the whole freaking all of Gaza is nothing but like rubble. It looks like Aleppo in Syria. Just hammered, smashed. Every single airport's been like crushed. Every single hospital's been crushed. Like, tell me it's not genocide. I hear so many people living in denial and living in an illusion. Some of us, though, see it for what it is. With the Zio plan. So Rubio saying that Syria could collapse in a couple weeks. And remember, you got to keep an eye on Syria because this is tied in biblically. Damascus is biblical. It's like the longest living, ongoing, surviving throughout all the conflict, biblical city on the planet. It's like, it's crazy. And Assad got ousted. Now you've got Jolani in there and all this crap, and they're saying that it can collapse. Well, what's that mean? That means fighting's going to go down and the place is going to get torn apart. And you wonder how it was all going to fall. Well, this is the closest to ever in history that we are to that moment. We're inching closer. So if this happens like he's predicting, which I'm going to say it's going to, all hell is going to start to break loose in Syria. And it already has been. People have been genocided there, executed. Christians, but nobody cares. Like, Trump's over there shaking hands with Jolani. It's like, are you kidding me? Over there shaking hands with Ben Salman, where they're chopping people's heads off for minor offenses. Makes me sick. But that's your Gentile Messiah. You want to be real about it? All right, so Trump saying that he sees an end to the war coming up. This is what they were all saying. They see, an end to the war, 2-hour call with Putin, all this. Well, turn around. Russia strikes a Ukrainian training ground, resulting in mass casualties. All these guys training, just running around the ground, not like a bunch of them that were probably kidnapped off the street, which is garbage. You don't even want to be there. Just got wiped out, obliterated. And this is what pissed me off about Russia, is because they know this. They know majority of these troops are not even firing shots on the battlefield. They're like hiding in the trenches. Pisses me off, man. I've seen so many videos of these boys getting killed, man. Drone struck broad daylight. Live stream on the drone, carrying the bomb right into them. Like, every day, all the time. Ticks me off, man. See, I got to see this stuff. I got to watch it, keep up with what's going on. And I won't dare. Well, I couldn't play it here on YouTube anyway, but you won't see me share, these things even on X, because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in, like, just throwing out scattered bodies, like, all the time, like in the feed, unless it's absolutely, absolutely warranted. And I'll put a graphic warning, but some of these characters just constantly just showing the graphic content, and like, I don't like scrolling through my feed and like having to get hit with that. Like, no one should. Like, I'm almost like used to it. It sucks because I've been doing this so long, but other people don't need. They're trying to desensitize you to the stuff, to the mass killing. Hasn't even begun in America. I believe, if you believe that you're going to really see end time stuff, tribulation, and crazy stuff, then like, it's going to go down in America. And I believe it's going to go down on Trump's watch, especially economically and all this stuff. Huge things. They can happen anytime. This country is going to be, I believe, like ripped apart, war torn by 2030. if these events go down. It's already heading in that direction, steamrolling in that direction. China, India, Pakistan, India, sister provided intelligence to Pakistan. You know what that means? Well, you know who's got who's back. You know what side each person's on. China is demanding that Trump scraps this whole Golden Dome thing. If you don't know what the Golden Dome thing is, that's the name for our missile defense system. They're talking about doing this, and it involves space. And I told you this whole thing is going to battle in space, and it very well could finally be the Project Bluebeam big show in the heavens and in space that they perform. Because China is basically putting a warning out there saying that, like, look, if you proceed with this, we're going to proceed with our own stuff. And China's like got all kinds of tech up in subspace. In all their moon missions, rover, everything else, they have an advantage there. They've got more going on in the departments than what we've had. The biggest things in space that we've had going on that we know of has been through SpaceX. But all the top secret military stuff and all that, you know. I mean, the world's a stage, man. Again, these guys, the leaders of these countries, don't hate each other. It's all a show. The people get slaughtered, I believe, out of like satanic sacrifice. It's just, it doesn't have to be this way at all, ever. Never had to be a war in Ukraine. Israel doesn't have to be going around blowing everybody's head off and everyone around them everywhere. All this stuff, like all the wars that we've seen, any and all of them, and the one that is to come right here on our doorstep, southern border. You know, what good does that dome do when you've got a war popped off right there at the border? I don't know. I think it's a different animal. It's going to cost $175 billion for this missile defense system, so that you know. And it's better to have a defense system. I'll say that than nothing. So I'm not going to argue against that. But how well it works and all that, it's yet to be seen. If it fails, I mean, they're going to have to test it. All this stuff's going to have to be tested, which is interesting because they may already be doing this. If you see events out there, largely, I'm going to say out west is where they try to pull this off, out in the middle of nowhere. If you see any events like this where it looks like they've shot something down or anything like that, it'd be worth noting. Also, if they hit something at the right altitude, 20, 30,000 feet up there, and they do stop it, it could still give off an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP. So just realities, man. And TNF in the house. Make arrest great again. Thank you for the super chat. And the comment. I hope all is well. It's also true though. Make arrest great again. We don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much faith in it, to be honest with you, brother. This whole thing's a stage. If Hillary was sitting behind bars and all this stuff right now, I'd say yeah, because she's an easy target that he used his whole last run. Like, I keep going back to this. This is garbage. It's like, fool me once, man. You know, like fool me. Like, I don't think so. I don't buy none of this, man. Anybody just waking up to this, though, you know, I'm trying to. That's the fight, you know, waking people up, man. That's fighting the fight here. And that's what we try to do, get this truth out there. So people that were on the fence or maybe, you know, voted for Trump or just waking up, get the answers, get the right answers, get the right education. See this for what it is. And around here, the main emphasis is to get you to see this is the left-right paradigm. They can control both sides of an illusion. It's called the illusion of choice. And They Live, good old school movie, has Roddy Piper in there, man. That's a good one. That was them trying to tell you, these hidden things in society all around you. They just don't make them like that no more. Huh? Let's dive into, let's see where we're at here. Oh, coming up on top of the hour, so yeah, we're going to definitely spill over here into the next 30 minutes. We go and check a couple things. Give a shout out to everybody just now rolling in, checking in. Here at top of the hour, I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. If you need to email me, it's dabu7@yahoo.com. And you can @ me there in the chat. Make sure to follow me on X. If you haven't subscribed here on YouTube, subscribe. And even if you think you are, go check it. Do me the favor and go check it right now if you can, guys. Because a lot of people have found out that they're unsubscribed and that the notifications have changed. And that, there's boxes that are not checked. They're not even checked off. And they're surprised when they go in there to have to check them off and save it as a new setting to get notifications. They're slick about this stuff and how they operate with censorship. But again, and thank you to everyone out there for the super chats, anyone that's bought a coffee. It's all appreciated to the fullest. We're going to tap into the exclusively super juicy, super esoteric, dark, evil stuff here. As we always do here toward the end of the stream. And this has to do with, right now, a lot going on with centering around P. Diddy. You may not like P. Diddy. You may think it's kind of a circus and a show and blah, blah, blah. Parts of it are. I hate him. But this is important to me in many aspects because, well, for one, I tell you all the time that this doesn't ever talk about the murders or anything like that. They're just talking about he's only being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking or something. He's not being charged with beating his girlfriend and saying, because his lawyer came out and said he was guilty of that, but it doesn't matter. He's like, I can say he's guilty of that because he's not charged with it. That's how stupid this whole game is. It's we get to watch this, and this guy's tied in so heavy and so deep into everything and he has been forever. I came up, man. The motto was BBK, Bad Boy Killer, because there's so much hate for Bad Boy and for this man right here. And that stems and it all comes from Pac, from Tupac Shakur, which they murdered. They assassinated, mind you. Again, I don't care if you like rap or not. This isn't about rap. You get over that. It's about way more if you can't tell. Huge sex rings, sex trafficking. Care about that? Murders. You start seeing it for what it is. Get over the whole rap thing. Okay? So, Tupac and Biggie were assassinated. They were murdered. Okay? By the hand, by the beast, by the establishment, by the same one that kills them all. It killed JFK, John Lennon, all of them. As I say all the time, list goes on and on and on and on of all the people they killed. Same club. All right? That's what we're dealing with here. Highly satanic, high, dark, evil occult, sexual, tantric, dark, evil energy, demonic at the highest levels. And this involves ritual sacrifice. Do you understand? The murder, the sacrifice of people, this to the other side, to the evil ones, there's nothing higher. This is why they call for it and for it to be done. And I'm telling you, this is what is left out of all the Epstein. This is what is left out of all the The Diddy stuff is the talk about that. I mean, with Epstein, obviously they kick the can like a mile down the road and like don't want to touch nothing. And I've got a story on that right behind this. But the Diddy stuff is critical because something just happened. You want to know some of these details that just happened at a trial? This man's had a poker face the whole time, but he crumbled. He just crumbled, finally, in court. Crumbled when one individual was brought up. And that's Prince. And I'm going to tell you, Prince, they got Prince. They got him. Same way, he died. They found him overdose at his place. Get the out of here. You believe that? Just like you believe it with Michael Jackson. Just believe everything. Like how they killed all of them again. Like the list goes on and on forever. R.I.P. to all of the ones that fought against the beast. They attack you and throw you under the bus unless you make sacrifice. And you've got to make that sacrifice. That's what they demand. Okay, to live this lifestyle and to stay a part of it. Diddy got out of control, I'm going to tell you. Diddy just got out of control, like a spoiled brat. And he's getting checked for it. He got his card pulled. Got out of hand, beating women, Cassie especially. And there's like he pissed off certain people in the club. Okay? He's got away with being connected to murders all these years. It's in the wide open that the $1 million check cut involving the whole thing with Pac, it came from him. As the storyline goes, but I'm going to tell you, he's a fall guy. It was the freaking feds. It was the man that killed Biggie. They killed Pac. They killed Kennedy. They killed them all. You know this. That's who does it all, man. That's when I say Illuminati. That's who it's against. Anybody ever kills me, that's who it will be. Do you understand? That is the enemy. You need to see it clearly. Because all the rest of this is an illusion in a show. Okay? Anyway. The murders are big to me, and I believe that they need justice. Diddy should get charged. So check this out. Where was some of the first big freak-off parties ever held? At Prince's mansion. Yeah. So it makes you think, ho. What? Like, he was doing this stuff too, but no. Prince was calling the stuff out about Diddy. And was on the verge of exposing all this stuff. There's even some baited thing about a thing that they put out here a couple days ago about Prince. I think it was bait. Disinformation bait. But the real story, though, the history of Prince and Diddy is real. And the fact that Diddy was partying there right out the gate at Prince's place, Prince started raising questions. He started raising questions. They don't like questions. They don't like that. And he started to make it known and open, more public. And I mean, it's out there. Just do your research on it. I've seen it all day. And this was coming out in court. Okay. Diddy crumbled when Prince was mentioned. Folded. First time he broke. Okay. I'm telling you, he's tied into having him killed. Just like Craig Mack. Just like Biggie Smalls. Just like Kim Porter. Just like Tupac Shakur. All of them, man. All track back to this SOB. He should fry for all of them. Every one of them, man. Tell me about some stupid little orgies, man. You want to leave the storyline right there? We got people getting picked off? I don't think so. Like, if they don't touch on any of the murders or any of the deaths, this whole thing's a farce. And that's just what it is. Okay? So, Prince, among the many others, getting in Diddy's way, a threat, and then mysteriously die. and get taken out. Like, get out of here. Again, if none of this is brought up, which it's not, he's not being charged right now for none of this. He's not, the charges on him are not for any of these murders. It would have to be a separate trial, whole separate circuits. You see? Keep that in mind. And that's real deal. It's all dark magic. And thank you, someone. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. Any coffees, guys, to the fullest. All the support. So, this brings me to O'Keefe at Epstein Island. Apparently, with him and what they've done, I don't know. This is his release. Just play it and let you guys see what he's bringing to the table. I don't trust O'Keefe, but there is information to be gleaned. Inside Epstein's bedroom, O'Keefe Media Group continues our exclusive tour of the private island formerly owned by the alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, and looking inside each of the buildings on the island. Today, we're going to bring you inside Jeffrey Epstein's bedroom. We've previously shown you the kitchen and the library, but in Epstein's bedroom, we've made our most dramatic discovery yet. Landline telephones that show pre-programmed speed dial buttons labeled with names. You see the phones on the side of the bedroom tables here. We're going to take a look at these phones and the names on them. But first, the room itself, sparsely furnished. On the desk, you see what's known as a phrenology skull. Phrenology is a debunked pseudoscience linking skull shape to personality traits. On one bedside table, you see a notepad that says Little St. James, that's the name of the island, printed at the bottom of each page, and a set of reading glasses of similar type worn by Epstein in deposition footage. The most striking detail, we see a Panasonic console phone on each bedside table. The multiple lines are labeled. The speed dial buttons bear the names of Epstein's staff and associates. These are the individuals Epstein called most frequently from his private island. Nobody has ever seen these before. We assume the FBI and the Department of Justice has these, but have not released it. Here you have NY office. That's Jeff Epstein's New York City office. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's last girlfriend. Darren Off, that's Darren Indike, an Epstein advisor and lawyer. You have Rich Office, that's Richard D. Kahn, Epstein's advisor and lawyer. And Patrick Sell, that's Patrick McMullen, an Epstein associate. And STC Office, that's the Special Tax Office of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here we have another phone that was actually in a different room, but we see some of the same names and some new names. We see a Carlos, a Danny, which looks to be scribbled out with Kim written above it, a Mike, an Anna, and a Juggly. Now, what's interesting about Juggly is at first we thought it was Ghislaine Maxwell's nickname, but from what we could see online, her nickname, Epstein referred to her as G-Max. Don't know who Juggly is, but maybe you in the audience can help us solve that mystery. These are all of the known associates that Epstein would call on speed dial. Again, we assume the United States government has this. This is the first time anybody has published these on the internet. You might be wondering why we aren't just dumping all of this immediately. Some people in the comments saying you should publish everything right now. Well, that's really not what journalists are supposed to do. We're trying to corroborate this and verify that what you're seeing is legitimate and understand who is on these phones before we report this information to you. People are messaging us every minute here at OMG at our Signal account, 914-491-9395. It's blowing up. Our Signal again, 914-491-9395. Or they're sending a tip through our website or at tips@o'keefemediagroup.com. We're corroborating this material and backing it. Yeah, you're corroborating it. Yeah. You got all these people that were inside Epstein Island. They're going to hit your tip line up, right? Like, you suspect the FBI's got all this information and all, but we don't know. This guy, just a couple weeks ago, there was a big, huge thing. He pulled like an Alex Jones trying to get attention. He's like, I'm going dark. He made this little clip like, this one's got me scared. And like, he ain't go dark. Here he is with all this stuff. And I don't know. I give him props for a lot of the work that they do. Don't get me wrong. Some of the undercover stuff. But again, if we would have done any of the stuff that he'd done, we'd be like dead or in jail. You see how that works? That's why I don't trust these characters out here, man. But it's all controlled on Jesuit command. And this brings me to the Pope. Because all in all, in the end, this is the guy that's calling the shots, especially out of the Vatican. And of course, he's taking orders from the Black Pope, but that's not seen out in the public. But that is very real. If you don't know, just look it up. Well, you still can. But this new Pope, Pope Leo, he is accused here of helping child molesters by a child molester. They're saying that from Chicago, where this one person that was in the church was a child molester. He got away. He got charged with all this stuff and then got out, and then so everybody knew he was a child molester, and they took him in and allowed him to move in next to a school and like protected him through the Vatican. He was accused of sexually abusing at least 13 children. And he comes out and he says that it was the Pope, the now Pope, Robert Prevost, that exclusively gave him the permission, knowing all of this, to come onto the grounds and everything else. Basically turning a blind eye to all of it. Not saying, oh, no, you're a pedo and a molester. Like, you're not coming in here. No, he said, no, come on in. And protecting them. That's who this clown is that you want to call Pope Leo. Like, I don't like his crooked smile, like nothing about him. I don't like nothing about him. I don't like nothing about none of it. I don't like nothing about the Vatican, nothing about the evilness of it, or the roots of it. All the sacrificed bodies and bones that are in it, and its catacombs and everything else. It is the synagogue of Satan. And this brings me to the very final one. What does this say? And this is a premium article off of Daily Mail, so I don't have the whole article, but the title says enough. The title says it all. And that's why I want to show you and leave you with this part, because remember everything I just showed you and told you about this Pope, Leo, our current one. What does this say? Chilling warning that Pope Leo got from Satan about when darkness would engulf the world. From Satan. Got the vision from Satan. Didn't get it from God. Holy Spirit. Jesus. He got it from Satan. Do you understand? It's in wide open and clear. This is Illuminati on them all. And that was referring to the original, or one of the other Leo. That was an 1884 Leo, Pope Leo. The roots to Satan is clear there. That's why I told you it's the synagogue of, and it says it clear in your Bible. say that they're the vicar of Jesus here in the flesh. Like, get out of here. They represent nothing of it. Doing all the scandals and covering up of all the stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I trust none of it. That's why we call it out for what it is. That's why I say Illuminati. Yeah. Which brings us, where we at here? All right, yeah. Brings us pretty much to a close here tonight. Yeah, it's all black magic. Illuminati on it. Get over here and check the chat. Also, if you don't know, we got the site there for the Under Project. And if you don't know, all the information to it that's on it, even updated videos are posted there with news as well. The latest stuff, much love, Puff. Everything appreciated to the fullest there. And I want to thank any of the new members to the Underground here over on YouTube. I may go live also on X on the next one, not sure. But I'll aim to be back here as always. And much love to all the mods, all of you that hang out. I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you to those that bought coffees and support the stream. It's appreciated more than you know. And I'll look to be back here on Friday for the next one. God willing. Check the chat, give some shout outs here. To take us out of here. Yes, much love. Dabu7@yahoo.com, the email. If you guys want to get anything to me. Thank you, Minx. Much love, John Boy. Big D. Mayhem. Daily. TNF, thank you again. And as always, a much love to the legendary Eon, who comes through at the end of every stream, unlike anyone else I've ever seen. Much love, thank you so much, and God bless. Much love, Steve. Much love, David. God run. I'll see you guys here on the next one. Underground.